Hey everybody, welcome to Hold the Mic. We are your hosts, Ryan Shead and Ian Sherman. Brother, how are you doing today?
What up, doe, man? You know, we on vacation, so
Yes,
you getting a pre-recorded, but we in your face. Bow.
that's right.
Hi, haters. We
Well,
still made it.
he's on vacation. I might actually be in the comment section, but we'll
Oh,
see.
I hope you're trolling everybody.
I will.
Oh, that'd be so
That
good.
would be fun, wouldn't
That'd be
it?
so good.
Like, did
Oh,
you like that?
blew my mind. You just blew my mind.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Don't worry, I'm gonna watch a show. That's how
That
it's
would
gonna
be
work
fun.
out.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, we actually have a great show planned for you guys today because, as you know, we both try to be very appreciative of you, everybody that downloads and watches the show and comments in the sections, and jumps in when people cross the line and start coming after my family or whatever. There's just so much for us to be appreciative of, and when we sat down to think about a show to do while we were on vacation as a pre-record, we thought, what a great opportunity for us to be able to, just kind of chit chat about how we started, where we are right now, and the vision that we have for the future and where we're trying to get to with this
Man.
show. So yeah, we're going to take the opportunity to kind of give you guys your flowers and thank you, because without you, I don't have the platforms I have, and Ian and I, without you guys, we'd just be talking to ourselves on Friday nights. So,
Which
we're just
I
going
do already.
which,
So it's
yes,
okay.
we
It's
still
all
do
right.
that,
It's-
but
but this is a kickback to you guys.
for sure.
We always
And-
ask you like, subscribe, and hit that notification button, and you do. And you show
Yeah.
up, and you guys literally come in here, and we love to see the comments, and we really appreciate you guys.
Yep. And so we haven't really done a show about, and we've talked about it a few times on a few episodes, but we've never really done a
Yeah.
show about how you and I knew each other, how long we know each other, how we ended up on this show, So I just wanted to start with remembering our time together in science class.
Yeah, man.
And
Yeah.
what's funny about it is that
Mr.
I'm
Q.
actually, you were actually like 3 years behind me, I think.
2.
Was it 2?
I mean, I'm younger. I was the youngest in my class, so I would be like 3 years
Okay,
younger
so-
in that way.
yeah.
But 2 grades
But
below.
yeah, so we were a couple of grades apart, but we had class together, and we just ended up, just really getting along. He was the class clown, if you haven't figured out. He always had us laughing. So I was
That's
usually
cool.
getting in trouble
I got
because because of him. So not much has changed in 20 something
Not
years.
much has changed, man. Hey, Mr. Hugh, how you doing, brother? Hope you're
Yeah,
good.
man.
We're doing better. So
Yeah,
there
we're
it
doing
is,
better.
So it's all working out.
So,
Yeah, that's but what's so funny about that is like back in high school, and we're both from Detroit. For everybody who doesn't know,
Yes. Yep.
we moved.
Born and raised.
You're in Arizona, but I do love that hat. I'm over here in Brooklyn. I had to represent for today.
Yes,
but
sir.
what's wild is that my whole
You need to flip your camera, by the way. You can't read your shirt.
it's okay. It's all right. I'm good with it. You ain't
So this is what he's still new. Don't mind him.
if you're dyslexic, you understand what the situation is. That's all I care about. I'm just giving shout out to all my dyslexic people out here in these posts, baby. That's what we're doing. So what's wild to me is my high school schedule was completely whack out. I
Yeah.
started as a freshman and I had freshman classes. Then I went to a sophomore year and I had all junior senior classes, which
Yep.
where you and I mingled
Yep.
on that sophomore year. And then my junior year, I had all sophomore classes. I was like, who is doing this to me right now?
Yeah. Who's
then
making these schedules?
And then senior, I went back to my original class structure. I was like, this is ridiculous. But what I thought was dope was that I knew everybody in high school and everybody knew me
Yeah.
from different. So when I was younger, I got to know everybody above me and everybody above me got to know me. When I was older, I got to know everybody below me. So I knew everyone in that school left and right. And it was dope. I mean, I really enjoyed it. But looking back at it, I was like, that was a little off.
Did having like Robbie and Ida and them go through before you? Do you feel like that helped you kind of get to know everybody?
Nah, because my family, they're class clowns, they're assholes, and they went out of their way to make sure, oh, it's little Sherman, whatever the
Oh,
case
yeah,
was.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So that the taunting and all the BS that comes with the hazing, all that stuff. But it was dope because, and actually, I have a lot of trash talking to do to Kimball at the time. there was not many black families there. Clearly our complexion is like a lot of different shades, right? Rob darker than me and my sisters, but you know, we had Kevin Flowers, we had a number of individuals, Deontay and a number of people, right? A handful though.
Yep,
and for us, what was wild was there was one of us in each class. So there was a senior, a junior, a sophomore, and a freshman for 1 year. And they did a senior.
I didn't notice that. I didn't know that.
No one knows Shanita. We still don't know who the hell she is. But anyways, so they had,
I know who she is. Stop it.
he said it, Rob, Ida, you know, and everybody. See, he didn't know Shanita.
Oh, stop it.
So
you're
the
getting
thing
in trouble.
this is what I do, brother. So the thing that was interesting was that and to this day my mom was pissed. She was like, there was 1 year that all of you were at that school and they did a siblings photo and we were not in that siblings photo. Let that sink in. Yep,
really?
My freshman year. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Well, you know, I
already knew what that school was about. I was like, man, fuck this school.
You know, well, we were talking about that the other night because we were talking about how surprising it kind of was to see how many people we went to school with that ended up being like, you know, hardcore, you know, right-wing Trump supporters.
Mega, yeah.
And, you know, I didn't notice it at the time, but like you said,
that's because you were one of the cool kids.
I was not one of the cool kids.
I didn't say in the clique. You were one of the cool kids.
Oh, well, yeah. Appreciate that. I appreciate that.
There's a difference.
But it was a little disheartening because we had Robbie on the show like a month or so ago. And I don't know if it was during the show or when we were just chit-chatting before the show, but we talked about my view of Robbie, you know, growing up and see what I envisioned his life to be like in high school.
Yeah.
To hear what it actually was like to him and you know, you've kind of schooled me a couple of times, and it's just kind of like, wow, like I did not see you guys going through that. And it's very eye-opening for me now, today, to just look back at that and be like, so knowing now that that was what was happening and that I didn't see it, you know, I'm very happy that, at least I hope, that both you and Robbie can look at me and say that I was never one of those people. But, you know,
you were so dope, Ryan. Like, I mean, back in the day, I mean, there's a reason why we stayed so close, even though we didn't talk. For years, we always kind of just checked in on one another.
Yeah.
Over the last decade alone.
Yep.
And I mean, shit, you could tell them the music that you were playing off the Shed show when you were doing that. That was something I made a long time ago.
Yeah.
You know, people didn't know that I was making music for you for a long time.
Yep. And the funny thing was, and I don't know if you remember this, but right after my dad died, you and I had started chatting. We actually talked about starting like a record company together.
Yeah.
And so that's what makes it so funny, not funny, cool, that we've managed to end up here. May not be doing a record company, but you're still making music. You're putting it out, and I'm using it. I'm using it on my stuff.
What is a record company? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all
fuck
changed.
You know, but
fuck them.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, here we are building a platform, you know, and still doing it. And it was something that we threw around as an idea, you know, of doing something together back in like 2008, 2009.
Yeah, man.
So it's really cool to fast forward and see us here. And again, what I really want to drive home to people, like, Ian and I have not like talked to each other like every week, every month, or anything like that for the last like 10 years. Like, we just started talking, and he had seen what I was doing online, and I was kind of in a weird like Dr. Dre place where I didn't know what I was doing, and I needed to find my path. And Ian, I was like, why don't you just come on my show? Because doing it by myself, I never liked it, because I need somebody to bounce off of. Like, because when I get to a point on a show where I don't know what else to say, and it's like you have that momentary moment of silence, and it's awkward, and you're like, I don't know, you know, like all that stuff. And with you, I
never shut the fuck up. That's right.
I don't shut the fuck up, but in the few moments when I do, you know, you step
Double
in.
Dutch.
Yeah, exactly. But no, it worked out perfect. And
it's just my laugh, man. My laugh just kind of sneaks in there, and then you just kind of just like accept it. You're like, there he is. There's my guy.
What makes you dynamic and interesting is that you are very what's the word I'm looking for? Like, because you're funny, I don't think people anticipate the brain pan that you have. Like, and then when you start talking about facts and, you know, pulling out information and the way that you are able to discuss your positions.
Yeah.
I think because you can be like the class clown, I think, you know, it's like, it's almost disarming for people. And then you hit them with, oh, but I've got a brain. Don't worry.
Yeah.
And
here's
and
those
that,
receipts, though.
exactly. So that
true.
dynamic, you know, ability that you have to be both funny, but also educational and know what you're talking about.
You
and
know,
those two things together are
I appreciate you. I appreciate you calling that, because some of my favorite comedians are like George Carlin or Richard Pryor, you know, and it's like, they're funny, but they're hitting you with some knowledge, you know, and
you almost forget you're taking the medicine.
You know what I mean? And as I've always thought about that, I go, if you're going to be disarming, you got to be funny.
Yes.
And because you're going to say something to somebody that's going to
It's the easiest way to be disarming. Yeah.
It really is. It really, and I don't get it right all the time. You know what I mean? I know that some of my jokes don't land, and I know that some of them I'm too dry, you know, with delivery.
Yeah, that's my problem.
But at the same time, it's like, you know, there's things that happen where you're like, well, it just depends on what's being called for. You know what I mean? And the situation. But that is a serious take. You know what I mean? But I'll tell you right now, I sit back for a Ryan rant. I wish I had a bowl of popcorn every time. I wish I did.
So
they are magical, my friend. They are magical. You don't even know. You don't have control. And I just sit back like, Jesus, take the wheel. Like, here we go.
I will tell you this. I noticed last week when I had the rant that I could sense when it was coming. Like, I kind of knew when I was starting to head into it. So I kind of turned it up a little bit. And I was like, okay, I'm in it. Fucking let's just go.
He said pedal to the metal.
Pedal to the metal, let it go. And then, and honestly, I knew it was time to start looking for the off ramp, because you started kind of trying to double dutch your way into it. Yeah. And I was like, okay, that to me, that was like,
my body language.
No, because I'm not even looking at the when I go into the rant, I'm not even looking at the screen. I don't know if you know that.
Really? Oh,
no, I'm looking directly at
you just got me looking like a bass head on this mic.
I have no idea what you look like, what you're doing. I can hear you, that's it. But I'm looking at, so my camera's here, my screen is over here. So
Ryan, can you hear me when you're in a Ryan rant?
I do.
I feel like it's ludicrous.
I don't hear what you're saying.
Got you.
I don't hear what you're saying, but I hear your voice trying to, I know it sounds funny, but I'm not processing what you're saying, because I'm trying to figure, you know, I'm trying to keep them coming like that. All I hear is your voice, like, trying to jump into the conversation, and something in my head I think we've just developed this.
Yeah. And
it's like something in my head goes, okay, he's trying to jump in. Time for you to, you know, put the bow on it. That's probably only just started a few shows.
So now I'm like your nagging partner that you just.
No, it's not that at all, dude. It's just like, it's just that perfect balance of, you know, you're sitting back and listening to it, you know, and you don't want to jump in and, you know, fuck me up.
Yeah.
So, you know, like, it's like you have to pick your perfect time, but then also you're like, you know, you're like the ref. You're letting me go because you're giving me the rope that I need to do the rant. But you're also waiting to see if if I can't find that off ramp. And there's been a couple times where you've steered me off of the rant when I needed you to, because I was just going to keep going. And so it's just those things that became so natural. Like, we've never talked about it really like this.
We've never.
Like, I've never told you, like, I'm not looking at you. I'm looking at the camera.
This is my first time hearing that. I didn't even know that. That's why I'm doing, that's why I'm funny. I'm like, oh, so I'm a bass head.
You know what's so funny that you asking me that? You know what it just made me think of? Kind of made me think of my dad a little bit. But it made me think of, there's a Nolan Ryan documentary. I think it's on Netflix.
Okay.
And I'm a big sports person, but in that, they're talking about, when the stadium's full and it's just, they're tearing the place down, basically screaming and chanting. And they're like, what do you hear? And it's like, all he hears is just like fuzz. And it's just, the ball, the glove, ball, the glove.
Yeah.
And it's like, to me, that's what hearing that kind of reminded me of what we just said. I'm not hearing what you're saying, but I'm hearing your voice, and that's all I need to kind of just be like, okay, wrap it up. It's funny.
Well, it's interesting because I love a good Ryan rant because you'll start seeing now that it even has a name. Like I think about this show when we first started as a guest appearance to be that with the music or then into actually my voice, which was a fun trial. You know what I mean? I was just like, hey, you want I'll jump on, I'll do a show. And then I'm like, this is dope. And it's funny too, because if you go back at like all the past episodes, you see our production get better and better. It's like Ian on his phone. So it's like, and you would give me notes. Ian, your camera looks terrible. This shit, your lighting sucks. You know, you
really can't tell like the first five or so episodes.
You look and you just start seeing progression of things change. You're like, oh, Ian got a ring light. Like, here it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like little things that then you start noticing. But it's one of those things where
it reminds me of the episode where it was like, get your mic.
You kept calling me out about the mic, and then the mic started fucking up, and I'm like, I can't win. I can't win.
No, the best part was that time it wasn't your mic, it was mine.
Oh my god. I still got blamed. It was in the comments. It was in the comments. Ian's mic again. I go, this is bullshit.
Oh shit. I forgot about that. But that's what I mean, dude. There's been so many good laughs so far along the way. We really do need to go and get a compilation. We're 25 episodes in, which is another
wild.
one.
That's wild to think about.
It is.
It's wild to me because we've been doing this every Friday. And we've seen the numbers grow, like the analytics. I love talking business with you in the context of like, how are we seeing the show progress? How can we make it better?
Yep.
I love those moments with you. And we've created a number of segments, you know, and they really are hitting. But it's so good to see the fans hit up and be like, Ryan Rant. Like, it's dope to see like that has to be a t-shirt. Like, I need to be rocking a Ryan Rant.
Yeah, we definitely need to come up with one.
That is you. There's nobody can run with that. It is a Ryan Rant. Let's go. And usually I just throw my hands up and I just scream because I'm like, this shit is so lovely because I know it's hitting the peak. You know what I mean? Like, that's when, and maybe that's when you hear me, is when I'm saying something because maybe that's the peak of us.
Maybe. Yeah.
And that's interesting because there's a point where I go, oh, this is it. Ryan Rant, you know? Like, yes, you know, and so it's interesting to think about.
But that's funny because I remember last week when you did that when you said, oh, here's a Ryan Rant, that was actually what told me to turn it on. So like, I actually started going more after I heard that.
Hit it.
But then towards the end, like I said, I don't remember what you were saying, but I remember just hearing your voice. But I do remember when you were like, oh, it's a Ryan's Rant. And I was like, oh, here we go. Like, just lean into it.
It's good to know that I sound like the adult from like the Charlie Brown cartoon. Like, that's dope. Like, it's like, I'm just like, wah, 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 like just in your ear and shit. Like, it's like, great.
You know,
that's what I wanted to grow up to be.
Can I tell you something since we're talking about it? I still have issues with doing the Ryan Rants.
Really?
And as much as I love doing them, and I do love doing them, because it's like my natural setting. It just is. Like, I'm not a naturally positive person. I'm a naturally negative, pessimistic person. So it's just kind of my personality. It fits me. But at the same time, you know, I think I look into the future and I say, oh, if I run for office or I do, you know, become a CEO or whatever comes in the future, they're going to be able to take these little clips that make me look like a raving fucking lunatic and without the context, you know, make me look bad.
Yeah.
And especially being somebody who is very open about being bipolar and things like that, I worry that it could get misunderstood. But I think because there's such a long history, like you can literally be like, look, just go back and watch pretty much every episode. You'll see what it is, and you'll see him spool right back down. Like, you know, it's nothing to worry about. But you know how it is. People take things and run with it and make their own narratives with it. But
they grab the clip. It's all about the clip.
But at the end of the day, you know, doing this online game, you have to have your stick.
Yeah.
You have to have your thing. And the best, if you're trying to build something or find your stick, the best thing you can do is find something that is natural for you. And for me, that's my natural personality. Like, I'm turning it up like 10 times. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But that's my natural, like, I'll just hit you with fact, like, and you know, it's almost like overload. And I let you know that, yeah, it's pissing me off. You know, like, you want to,
It's interesting because I've had, I don't know how many people have gone back into your resume, right? And I've looked at your old shows from
Yeah.
years ago, and I was just watching how you were playing off of others. And I remember when we first started, I was like, "Oh, how about we do this or with this person?" And you're like, "No, like I did that, and that's done. Like
Yeah.
it's like a relationship. You're like, I'm not going back to it. Like
Yep.
I'm gonna rock with you. This is what we're gonna do." I go, "Great, all right, let's do it." Like I'm new to this. I mean, Ryan, you got me back into like social media. Like
Yeah.
I've disconnected completely,
But I
and
think
like I've ghosted.
I think the thing I'm most proud of though is not that you've gotten back into social media, because I
'Cause
actually,
that's a shit show.
well, because I want to be more like you. Like, we talk a lot on the show about our diet, our social media diet, the
Yeah.
things we intake, and let into our minds. And you've really opened my eyes to that. I didn't look at it like that before. And so I definitely try, I want to be more like you in terms of how you approach it. But unfortunately, what I've chosen to do, I can't take a bunch of time off. Like, it's like, if you're not out there putting out content, then, you might as well forget it.
The world passes you by. Yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely.
So, it's a
Absolutely.
weird balancing act, but you've definitely opened my eyes to just trying to at least balance it more.
But
Like
you can
when
find micro. You can do a micro, not a macro, but you can do a micro.
exactly.
know?
You got to find your thing. And it goes back to like Eminem, listening to people talk about working with him.
Yeah.
Like most music, producers, singers, whatever, rappers, they'll be in the studio at 2 a.m., doing whatever. And that's not how Eminem operates. He's
Right.
out of there at 5 and he's in at 8, and he goes to lunch at 1. And, when people like Akon would come into town and work with them, like, it blew their mind how he operated and how he did
So
things. And if he was in
structured.
the middle of a verse, he's like, cool, I'll see y'all tomorrow. And just being able to turn it off and on like that and still write some of the best songs, it's like, you just have to find what works for you.
Right.
If you're a night owl, cool, work. For me, I get a lot of work done at night because my kids are asleep. For Eminem, it was like he didn't want to miss his kids growing up, and always be touring and in the studio at night and whatever. So he built his life like it was a 9-to-5 job, and it worked for him,
Yeah.
clearly. So it's just finding what works for us, and like you said, not going backwards, not going to places I feel like, I've already done that, been there.
Right.
But most importantly, it's building something that's going to last. Like, I feel like I had a podcast partner like 2-3 years ago, and being bipolar, I got so pissed off, I basically erased a year worth of work. And it could still be collecting, views and stuff today,
Yeah.
even though it was old stuff. And I was so pissed. I was like, I don't want you on my shit. I don't want your face on my page. And I deleted about 56 episodes of a podcast. And so that was a kind of a regret. But that's kind of shit you do when you're bipolar. You're like, yep, fuck it. Like, I'm just going to delete a whole year worth of work.
He said, erase, delete.
Yep.
No, but you know what though? I mean, but here's the thing though. You're a very reflective dude. So for you to even like just have that moment right now and you're thinking about it, it's like, okay, we'll say one day you want to delete this show, right?
Yeah.
Will you do it, or will you be like,
No.
get my hand off the red button?
No,
You know what I mean?
tell you right now,
Let
I
me get
wouldn't
my
do it.
hand off the. But so in one way, I'm so thankful that happened then, because now that has really that lives in you rent
Yeah.
free. You know what I mean?
For sure.
And I'm glad that it wasn't that kind of situation that it could happen here. But I think back about when you and I first started, and there was a moment, and I was like, love you, bro. And you were like, love you too, man. Like, you know what? You like it clicked. You were like, you were having a moment, and then you were like,
but do you remember what happened right after that?
100%.
What?
And you told me that you talked to Jenny. You were like, I think I found my host. I think
Yep.
I found a person I can rock with. And I was like, it's all good. Like, no matter what, it's still love between us, because it's this first before
Yeah.
this, right?
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing that I was like, that's what we're bringing to the show. And it's the fact that we could talk about, even just looking at this show, we're just talking.
Yep.
This is unscripted.
No outline, no nothing.
There's no nothing. This is you and me all day. And this is what's interesting that people don't know, is that there'll be a random phone call between us randomly. And it's like, we're 3 hour difference.
Yeah.
Mostly a phone call though, when I do get
Yeah.
you.
When
I
we
know
want
you're
to talk
working.
about something, yeah.
but it will turn into this. It will be this, and there's nobody there. It's not like we're doing the show. We're just talking, and it's like these jokes and things and whatever. And it's just like we're like, wait, save that for the show though.
Yeah, I hope we remember that for the show.
It's like, yeah, it is what it is. It's organic. Just keep moving. We'll figure out something better for the show.
But honestly, bro, I think that's one of the reasons that people respond to the show is because, you know, we have an outline and I try to keep us to it. But, you know, at the end of the day, we talk about a lot and we allow ourselves to be organic with how we talk about it. And I think that's why people respond. You know, you can go get, you know, the teleprompter, you know, right wing stuff or whatever somewhere else. You know, this is us just talking about whatever. And I think in terms of politics, more Americans want to feel like they want to see just two dudes talking about politics and laying it all out there. And I think we do a decent job considering that we're both fairly left leaning, me more so than you, that we do a really good job of at least trying to see the bigger picture. Yeah. You know, and at least saying, you know, if we're wrong, we're wrong. Let's put up the right information on the screen. You know, let's fact check ourselves. Like that's the type of show that we wanted to build, something that, you know, we could be entertaining, but at the same time be putting out meaningful information that people could start depending on and knowing, okay, well, if Ryan and Ian are talking about it, then, you know, they at least know something about what they're talking about. And if they're wrong, they're going to come back next episode and tell us that they're wrong.
You know, what's wild about it is, I got a message, long message from a family member of mine who I haven't talked to in years. We leapfrog through each other's lives and love this individual dearly. Her name is Jenny. And she hit me up and she was just like, you know, I know we haven't spoken in a minute. I miss you. Like, you know, how's the family? We just started going through all of it. She goes, I started listening to your podcast. And she's like, she doesn't watch it. She listens to it. She's like, you know, I don't really get into politics, but I have to say, like, I've really enjoyed your show and it's really helping me digest some of the things that are going on. And it's making me want to look into some of the topics you're talking about. And I was like, Jen, man, that means everything to me. Yep. You know, just to hear that view of like, not the thing I want to do, but the fact that it's encouraging you to just take that extra step
to go research it.
Stuff. Yes. That's all I could ever ask for. And I'm like, you know, big up to her. You know what I mean? If she hears this episode, like, love you dearly. Like that's everything, you know? And I think she's an amazing human. And just to hear her, what impact this kind of show has on her, on just her daily, that's amazing to me. And then to be a part of, and I said, you know, thank you for letting me be a part of your diet. You know what I mean? Like that's everything. I was like, regardless of family, you know, my wife's never seen the show. So I already know I'm not a part of her diet. She is not.
You're a part of her diet. She just needs a break every once in a while. She needs a cheese pizza every once in a while. Damn.
She literally is like, I ain't trying to hear you for shit. All right. She's like, you go in that way and you go talk.
Oh my God. Your wife is awesome.
It. No, she's you know, definitely love.
Yes.
Girl.
No, we both have amazing wives that are supportive in their own ways. And, you know,
here to that.
Amen. Couldn't do it without them. So,
it's been amazing, man.
It's been a freaking ride, dude, so far. We're only 25 episodes in.
That went by fast.
Yeah, it's going by real fast, which is, it's cool though. Like I said, when I walked in, I told Jen, I was like, yeah, this is going to work because I needed somebody that can handle my personality, you know, and knows my intentions. And unfortunately, if you haven't known me for years, you know, then I don't think it's easy to get to know me, you know, and know my intentions and you know what kind of person I am and you just know, hey, you know, this is what bipolar is. Like, you know, everyone, you get spun up. It's just how it goes, you know, but
it happens.
But like I said, it's the ability to spin back down that is, I think, what the medications allow me to do. Yeah. And that, you know, I said, I think you have somebody in your family that deals with similar things, but you know, you've also educated yourselves and educated yourself and taken the time to just kind of get to know how I operate. And, you know, I've noticed that if I'm stressed out, you ask how I'm doing, you know, just to kind of take temperature, see how, you know, what's up. Yeah. And, you know, and I've made a conscious effort of if I know that I'm really off, if I'm feeling really off, to let you know, before the show starts. So that
just shows you that you're so comfortable.
Well, right? I'm comfortable. Yeah. It's, and again, but I don't I don't feel like I have to hide it, you know, and
No.
that's with some people you work with, you know, it's like I feel like I have to pretend that it's not a problem, you know, and sometimes that sets you off even more later
Right.
because it's like you're trying to hold it in and you don't want to let everybody know that you're about to freak out, and then you go freak out twice as bad, you know,
Right.
like the next day.
Right.
And it's so weird how it works, you know, and it's like some of it you can't explain. So
Do
to
you
have
feel
a
like
partner that you know gives me that space and that grace to just be like, okay, you're having a bad day, that's cool, you
let's
know,
lean into it. Let's
yeah,
lean into it,
yeah,
man.
we'll be good, it's all good.
It's a heavy, and the thing is too, and I do think about you fondly when it comes to like weeks like we've seen these past couple weeks, right?
Mm,
Assassination
man,
attempts, the
telling you.
Supreme Court, Eileen Cannon, like all these rulings and everything that's going on, and I'm like I think like, oh, is this spin? Are you going to spin up? Like, is there
Yeah.
going to be this unraveling where you're like, what the fuck is going on? And I think about that, and I go, God, like we do this on a Friday, and it's like, okay, we've had a couple extra shows done in the past, right?
Yeah.
That special on Monday where we talked about the assassination, all
Yep.
that stuff that took place, and it's like, I think about this, I'm like, wow, like we really got more time in, where it's like it almost is like it helps out to release a lot of this stuff, because and I don't even think just for you and I think even for the people who come to check out the show, it gives them a place where they can then also release
Mm,
a little bit. And I think
yep.
it's a really good powwow between all of us, because we're all trying to figure this shit out together. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's been the big highlight for me too, is the people we get to interact with, you
Yeah.
know, in the comment sections, because it
Shout out
honestly,
to Angry Bunny. That's my homie right now.
Angry Bunny, and a shout out to our moderator, Kaylin,
Kaylin
who's
is
always in the,
dope.
the comment sections.
So dope.
You know, General Putnam's been with us since pretty much day one.
Yes.
You know, there's so many of you. Like, I feel bad
Oh
not
yeah.
mentioning so many of you, but
I don't step it up. Step your game up. All right, be funnier. Say some funny ass shit. Catch my attention.
oh my God,
I gotta be
no.
that guy, guys. I
But
gotta be that guy.
but just being able to interact with you guys and see that I'm not crazy, that
Yeah.
so many other people are feeling the same way. You know, you look back at the assassination attempt, and it was like so many people were saying that it wasn't just on one side, that it was staged, that it was planned, that it was, you know, something to help Trump.
Yeah.
So it's just nice knowing that we're building a community of people that will go research the things we talk about for themselves and come back and talk about it with us. And that, like you said, I think that's the biggest compliment anybody could pay us watching this show.
Yeah.
That is that you guys made me think of something, and I went and Googled it, or, you know, checked out a book or whatever it is. You went and found the information for yourself and took it in and interpreted it your way. And that's what we want to do on this show. We're not looking for followers. We're not looking for cult members. We're looking for people that, you know, think for themselves, want to come have good conversations, but, you know, are also realistic about what's really going on.
And it really is. There's no cloud chasing. You know what I mean? Like, it's you and I have been really about like, let's get it right. Let's get it
Yeah.
right.
That's
Do
more
it.
important than the cloud chasing.
Let's get it right. Let's really.
Like,
We
we're all
owe it
doing-
to them. We owe it to ourselves.
Yes. We're all doing it for the clicks, right? Like, I'm not going to sit here and say we're not doing it for the clicks and likes and shares and follows, but I think Ian and I both feel there's a right way to do it.
Yeah.
And you know, I could probably have built a platform a lot faster if I didn't say some of the things that I say, and I'm well aware of that. But sometimes you just got to say the right thing, even if it's going to hurt you. But at the end of the day, I think that's why people will come and watch us, because we say what the right thing is. We correct ourselves when we're wrong, and we want people to go educate themselves, not just follow us. So
You don't want to be like JD Vance. You don't want to just.
I don't want to be like J.D. Vance. I don't want to be like Trump. I don't want to be like any of the Republicans. Not Candace Owens. Not freaking any of them.
You really ain't chasing that fame. Okay. All
Yeah,
right. I
Miss
got you.
Candace. So I'm going to talk to you about this when we get off. So
We almost got a Ryan rant.
you almost got me. You almost got me. But no, look, guys, we wanted to just do a show and kind of talk a little bit about how we got to where we are here, and what we have planned for you. Ian and I aren't going anywhere. His music is only going to continue to grow.
Just getting started, man.
Our platform together will continue to grow. You know, we're already in 12 countries on 4 different continents, so we only plan on getting bigger from here. And again, thank you for tuning in and watching our show, and also more importantly, coming back every Friday and hanging out with us. It really is the peak of our weeks, getting to hang out with you, and getting to talk with you about what happened, whether it's politics or not. So
Yeah,
I hope
all
you
the
all
stuff.
feel loved. I hope you all feel like we gave you your flowers, because you make this what it is.
This
So,
episode is about you guys, really.
absolutely.
And seriously, like, subscribe, hit that notification button, and let people know. You know, if they would like this show. If you know somebody, you're like, yo, I got a dope show for you. Pass it. Maybe they will, or they'll trash us. Either one. I love a good hater.
Yeah, we love haters around here. So, but no, with that said, thank you all for everything you do for us. Much love. Keep fighting, and make sure whatever you do, make sure you get your ass out and vote.
Oh, and I really do need your help. Go to my TikTok. Add me as a friend.
Yes.
Sherman
He needs
_ BK. Hit me up, because then we could take this show to TikTok and the fuckery really can be.
Yeah, then it really gets interesting.
Let's see what happens.
All right, y'all. So go follow him and go download his music on Spotify. Link is in the bio. As always, you all are awesome, and we'll see you next week.
Much love.